All right, let's get into it. What is a glucose monitor? And we can talk more.
Yeah. So basics first, so it stands for CGM is continuous glucose monitor. It's exactly what it sounds like. So it's this small device you put on the back of your arm and you put it on at home. Everybody's first question they always ask is, does it hurt? And it doesn't. Yeah. So
I was surprised.
It's surprisingly painless. Yeah.
I looked at it and I was like, wait, what? I'm going to punch that into my tricep area. And sure, I didn't even feel it a couple times. One time I felt it, but the other times I didn't even feel it.
Yeah, it's pretty painless, and it looks like, I describe it as kind of like an easy button. So it comes in kind of this contraption. You push the button and then it's on the back of your arm, and it lasts for 14 days. So it stays there the full 14 days. And it's just kind of stuck with a little like adhesive, similar to kind of like a Band-Aid adhesive. And then what that's actually doing, so the technology is there's this small microfilament that goes just below the surface of the skin. So there is a needle to insert it, but the needle doesn't stay in your arm. It's just kind of inserting this tiny microfilament, which is why while it's on for that 2 weeks, it's really painless. You can sleep on it, you can do all your regular activities on it, and you're not going to notice it at all. And what it's measuring underneath the skin is the glucose levels in your interstitial fluid. So that's actually the fluid in between your cells. So it's not even the depth of your blood vessels, which is why, it can be really shallow and super painless. And it's measuring that continuously. So every 5 minutes, it's picking up a glucose measurement. And so then you use the app on your phone and you just kind of scan it over that device, and you can pull up to the last 8 hours of data. So as long as you're scanning every 8 hours, you're going to get that continuous 24 hours of glucose data, which is really kind of a novel concept in tracking. There aren't a lot of things that we get this continuous nature of, a viewpoint of. And that's unique in the sense that, you think about a photo and that's a snapshot in time. So that's like our fasted glucose level or a hemoglobin A1C. And this kind of gives us some information. It's like what is happening right then, right now. But then that movie picture tells us so much more than a photo could ever say. So it's telling you exactly how your glucose is fluctuating, how it's changing from day to day, what's happening while you're sleeping. So it's giving just a much more robust amount of information to help us figure out insights way, way quicker than we could with those snapshots. So a lot of people tend to kind of prick their finger with those like glucose meters or glucometer that you can get over the counter. Obviously, that's a little bit more painful because you have to draw a little drop of blood and then check it. But with that, it's just that little snapshot in time. So with this, it's about like 2,000 blood drops of what you can get in 2 weeks. So you're getting this kind of movie stream. And then on the NutriSense experience, as you mentioned, you get assigned a one-on-one dietitian and they message you through the app. So it's kind of this async texting nature. It's supposed to be very kind of casual and light and accessible.
It definitely is.
We wanted people to be able to kind of ask questions when they come up. And the main reason that we did that, of course, I'm a dietitian by trade. So going into this, I really understood the power of that human side of things. But we really didn't want this to be just like a data software program. We didn't want it just to be access to the numbers and then you're kind of on your own. We really wanted it to be more that we're there to kind of help you on this journey. And what we've learned is that both the dietitians are more powerful with data, and then the data is more powerful with dietitians. So there's this really beautiful sweet spot between combining the two things to help people understand the nuances in their, personal metabolic health and really make changes that matter and kind of stick to it. So some people use the dietitian a lot. They message them all day, every day.
I did early on, for sure, because I had so many questions. Like, what does this mean? What does that mean? Why did this? Because I remember I did a HIIT workout and my glucose went to 158 or something. And Stephanie was like, no, that's totally normal. That's, you leaned into it because you needed it, whatever the answer was. But I learned so much. I had no idea, even like eating. I remember I crushed a fairly large ribeye with a friend, and that night my glucose was like kind of up and down and not as low as normal, and I didn't sleep that great. And Stephanie was like, I had logged it, and she was like, yeah, when you eat a really rich meal like that, especially later, it can impact your sleep, and here's why. I was like, wow, this is so interesting.
Yeah. So they'll, as you're mentioning, the dietitians will proactively kind of pick out some interesting pieces and let you know kind of where to go with it, what that information might mean. So that even if you don't have a lot of questions, they're kind of helping you digest it. Because the last thing we wanted to do was for someone to look at the numbers and, maybe your sweet potato example, you might have taken away from that, I guess I should never eat sweet potatoes again. And maybe sweet potatoes are your favorite food in the whole world. And now suddenly you feel deprived and sad. And that is not what we wanted people to walk away with. So we wanted to make sure that a lot of the times we can work with what's happening. There's a lot more flexibility to the approaches than people realize.